We're going to test now, guys. Thanks for coming along. Great to see you. Just going to kick things off, as always do. If you can't hear me, can't see me, let me know. I think we should be all good to go now. Um, yeah, I think we're all set. If you don't know me, welcome aboard. I'm Will Sebastian. I'm a multi-asset day trader, founder of People School Global Trading Academy. Today is the 5th of September. We're rolling into the markets off from yesterday. We had a bit of a fall on indexes, which I called to my members, of course, and I took myself. You can see the FTSE, for example. I had it short. I was actually traveling back from Copenhagen yesterday, Denmark, and had it short here. And it trickled down and I exited sort of here. Okay, so I didn't get the full move, but I got a good lot of profit on that, and I'm sure lots of guys who follow me did too. The overall sentiment around indexes is shifting, futures markets alike. I also called the S&P short futures. You will have shorted that over here, so well done if you're in gains on that. You've got a nice fall dragging down. Like I said, within these falls, when they start from points like this and carry down, you will get those pushes up before you go down most of the time. Okay, might not play out exactly as I've labeled it, but we'll go through all that in depth. So I'm just going to let everyone come in now. I'm just going to remind everyone that we're starting. So give me 2 seconds and we'll let everyone know. Okay. Believe we're all set at this point. So give everyone a minute. I've sent an email out. There's quite a few things I want to talk about today, and there's a couple of lessons I'm going to go over. Mainly, it's going to be really reading charts, how it's done, because a lot of people think picking price movements or picking any big moves in the market is all about something other than what you can physically see. Really, I like to treat the markets as a puzzle. I like to treat them as a puzzle where I'm putting pieces together so I can get an overall answer or an overall outcome. So, I mean, that's how it should really look, because at the end of the day, no matter what time frame you're on, it is all a puzzle. It's like a jigsaw, if you like. You're using all of these candles to put together a picture, to form some kind of picture that you can get an assumption off, so you can work out the puzzle, if you like. So for me, that's what trading is all about. Trading is all about using things like this. What does this mean to me? This big red candle dragging down below these minor PA zones. What does that mean? What can I infer from that? Would it be more likely that I get to this point? Okay, probably yes. Does it mean that my stochastic oscillator is down here? Somewhat, yes. Okay, so you're putting all of these things together. And overall, once you understand how all time frames work together as one, which is probably the main basis for Be Profitable Academy, what I teach people, I believe it's the most, important thing you could possibly learn in trading. Once you understand how these time frames work and how you drop them down and that puzzle changes, the pieces of the puzzle come together more, you can get a really accurate overall assumption. Okay? So that's what this is going to be about today. And I make that point just because it's become more relevant as of late. One of my Academy members asked me yesterday about something like this. So yeah, you're putting together the puzzle. But anyhow, on your S&P futures, I think we've given everyone long enough. On your S&P futures, I think you will drag a little bit lower. I think you'll probably bounce here. Okay, so part of the puzzle one, this is like Cluedo. What could this do to your entry? Okay, if you fall down to this price action level on your hourly chart, okay, what could that do to price? Could it make it bounce? Is the fact that you've got a 200 MA coming along significant? Okay, there's all these different pieces which should tell you, okay, well, perhaps it's time to swap long, or perhaps it's time to exit shorts. I will just say now more people are coming in. I haven't pressed it myself and I haven't refreshed yet, but if you can press that boost button right now, that would be fantastic. Please do smash that boost button because I cover the London session. Everyone wakes up, they want to know about the London session and they want to know what is worth knowing. Okay, there's tons of streams on here which don't tell you that very accurately. So if you can press that boost button now, it'd be really great. And if you can ask me a question as well, it'd be even better. So press the boost, ask me something. Or if you want to just say hello, put it in the chat box. If you want to say where you're from, what you're trading, anything about yourself, feel free. And of course, if you are someone who is actually serious, and I sent a message out the other day or yesterday to everyone, you have to remember taking no action also has a consequence. People say actions have consequences, which is absolutely right, but taking no action also has a consequence. I think it's really worth saying that the longer you spend your time focused on the basics, the harder it's going to be to progress. So in the middle of this screen, there's a banner. It says serious about trading. If you go to the link on there, you can get my full mentoring academy. I can help you out whenever you want. You can ask me whatever you want. I can send you all kinds of replies. Morning, great to see you in the chat box. So yeah, press the like, ask me a question if you're serious about learning and you're not just interested in sticking around the basics, because to be honest, you won't get further from that. You're spending an awful lot of time on it. Then go to the link in the middle. These streams do cover a lot, but I hold back a lot so that people who pay me get a fair deal. But anyhow, let's go for it. So your S&P futures, I called it short. I sent something out to everyone who follows me or is a paid member. I sent this to all my paid members and I said, that is going to be a short. And hopefully everyone shorted it. And great. It fell. The part of the puzzle I was referring to at this point was that. Okay, and by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to comment as well. Feel free to like and share. But nonetheless, what did the puzzle look like? Well, the puzzle piece, firstly, was here. This is your price action level, okay, that you've pulled up to. Next, I want to identify where is the market heading? Well, clearly it's heading down because you're starting to get a downtrend. The market news is pulling you that way. It's telling you things are looking a little bit less convincing. Hence, the market starts to pull. Next, you've got this big red candle pulling you down. Now, here is where you have to make a decision. Like I said, is it likely you'll get here? Yes. Is it likely it's probably going to be in the near future? Yes. But what do you need to do at that point? Will this provide a bounce? Will it provide a move? Okay. That is what lots of people be asking. Now, the way to solve that is to put your time frames up. Have a look yonder. Okay. Now, you could exit at this candle wick because you might get a bounce. That's fine. Take the gains, take the money off the table. You can do that. But if you just zoom out a bit, put the time frames up, you can see much more. Okay. And you can see the wider spectrum of the market. Won't go into that too much. Okay. But I expect longer term, that is where you may get. Gold. I said if you shorted it, I said to short about here. It's now down. I said to exit it, okay, for gains, and possibly reorganize yourself later on, higher up if you get there. So if you took this, okay, you could take profits. You could be out in that move. Okay, you've got your rejection. You've bounced nicely off that MA. And the market's falling. Now, they think you'll get 1926. It's probably reasonable, but you do have a bunch of PA here, so I would exit that. To answer your question in the chat box, I'm trading gold. What's my take on it? That is my take. Okay, if you shorted it there, I would probably exit. I think longer term, again, putting your time frame up like your S&P, I think you'll get under that previous low. I don't think gold is going to sustain itself that much, and I think you'll get down there eventually. I'll then use all my key price action rules and the indicators I use to form a new bias to the flip side in the market. So gold is dragging down. Again, you've got your natural forming downtrend. Market is moving like this. You just have to make the right decision. Don't be one of those guys, and it's happened again. I say it all the time. Right? There's people who do things like this. They draw these twin lines wherever they want, and the key thing is wherever they want. They draw them, and then you get a push above it like that. They then buy it, okay? They then stop out because it falls. The reason why breakouts do not work, and I'll tell you now, the reason why breakouts don't work is because you only know it's broken out after it's broken out. And whenever it's broken out, problem is, again, you're buying way after it's come up. That is never going to work. Logically, think about it. If you're buying after the price has risen, how can you make money? How? Why didn't you buy? Wouldn't it be a much better idea to buy there? Wouldn't it? I mean, it would for me. I'd much prefer to buy there. Okay? Or below. But, I mean, if you're saying, okay, well, it's broken off this trend line and therefore it's going to go up, just take a look what happens. It doesn't. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't matter what you say. If you want it to happen, it doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. Now, the reason why they don't work is because trend lines operate on all time frames with all kinds of parameters. You could take these highs like that, or you could have taken this one like this, okay, and bought there stupidly, or you could take this high, okay, and do it like that. Trend lines are built on your parameters. How many candles you've got, how many time frames, how many highs and lows. That's what it does. That is all decided by you. Now they have to be parallel, and you can see if I make them somewhat parallel, let's say, no, they're not exactly, but you still don't have touch on it. Okay, so you can't really confirm that it's pulling away. Now, if you drew it like this, again, that would probably be your line of its fit. So you'd have to work out what was the line. Now, inside my academy, I've got an indicator which draws them perfectly for you every single time with the correct parameters that work. So you get that as a part of my academy, but it saves me drawing them. I never have to draw them myself. They're done automatically. And I can tell you it saves so much time and so much money as well, because if you incorrectly draw trend lines, which is really easy to do, you're going to find you get difficulty, right? Because you've got this sloping down, but similarly, if you connect the other two lows, which loads of people do, that's not parallel, is it? It's not parallel. So you would have to then take this low and try and, something like this. I don't know. You're making it up as you go along. Just get the computer to draw it. That's about the only thing I would let a robot do. I don't believe in auto trading, copying, things like that, really. Signals just doesn't work. The only thing I let the robots do is draw the lines because they do it via an algorithm and okay. And then what is really important there is that it requires a human assumption afterwards. So you get it drawn for you, which is great, and then you have a human assumption. You can see that some guys have left the stream because they're not interested in anything other than breakouts, and that's why they don't make any money. But if you've stuck and you're interested in getting things right, good for you. Okay. If you're just coming in and you can press the like button, that'd be great. Yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of traders, they think, wow, it's broken out, I'm going to be rich. Doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. And if it did, don't you think you would be making money by now? Don't you think you would be profitable? Okay, if you're using breakouts and you have been forever, and it's not working, there should be a news flash there. It should be making a bit of sense as to why. So let's move on to FX. So your pound dollar chart, okay, you've come down nicely. Again, with what does the puzzle look like to you? Well, there's plenty of price action below. It looks like you may get a market maker stop somewhat under this low, and that is a reasonable long. I do prefer the pound dollar long on this 200 MA slightly lower. I do really like that level, but I'm happy to add long at the point. Now, hi, seen you a few times in here, hey Darks or whatever in the chat. So good to see you as well. But yeah, I like it long now, and I'll further DCA. I'm willing to add. Price action level is more preferable down there anyway. dollar yen are like many yen pairs are re-rallying. I managed to escape some shorts I had. I hedged it long. Okay, I'm in gains on my pairs, yen wise, and I'm adding again. I'm doing it sporadically. If you come up, I'd like it short up here. Okay, that bias remains for most pairs. I've got the FTSE long as well. You're now getting a bounce on it really well. So I'm looking to exit that probably for intraday gains if you can get higher up. Not so interested in the S&P futures in the same regard. Going off on a bit of a tangent though, so let's go back to your yens. Now, the only yens that differ a little bit here is the AUD yen, okay? And that is a long, but just be careful if you're trading AUD yen, dollar yen. If you're long in the AUD yen and shorting the dollar yen, it's probably not a good idea. The Swiss yen, I think you may bounce. I'd be a little bit careful on that. You could re-add at the top, okay, further short. And the reason why is because you've been coming sideways for weeks now, okay, 20 days. So 3 weeks, you've gone sideways. As I always say, I teach people how to hedge for gains. That period, you could have done it, right, in the correct size, and you could have been more or less quite profitable on that. I hedged various times. I took DCA short gains, and I updated my post here on the Swiss yen, which I'll do so now. I think, what price are we looking at? Short 1662, should we say? So you would have had long gains on that call because I called it, and that's where I like it, DCA short. Okay, so yen pairs like your dollar yen, okay, your let me just check my CAD yen. CAD yen I'm not too interested in. Euro yen and neither. AUD yen you could long. Pound yen you could long. So I would either buy the AUD and the pound, or I would short the Swiss, the dollar yen. Okay, we'll do both. It's one or the other. Pound AUD is really nice for shorts. Okay, well done if you took this. That is really ideal because, again, how are we solving the puzzle? Well, we're looking at this new trajectory, which is our down move. You come straight up. Now, what's significant here is you hit into early resistance, pulls the market away, and as I've said for a while, I wouldn't be surprised if you keep going longer term down here. Same with your pound yen. If I check on the pound, pound New Zealand, check on the pound New Zealand, you've got a similar thing. I think longer term, the pound New Zealand is going to get down. If you go on your higher time frames, it's just way too high. Someone told me this morning it was a long, which is ridiculous. He wasn't an Academy member, believe it or not, but he was telling me, you should be buying up here. It has since fallen. I said, you really shouldn't be buying. If you go on your weekly, you would have to be a fool to be buying this and intending to get good value on the trade. That is not a long. That is a long. That is a long. That is a long. And that is a long. That is a short. Okay? Just look at the price. Look at the price. Why would you do it? I mean, this doesn't make sense. Draw a fib from here. It's a long. It's a low fib. Long, long. But then you get really high in the fibs. And it's no longer a buy. Okay? Basic economics. Right? But in that is a lot of rules, which I teach, obviously, but just be careful. But anyhow, I'm short, and I'm intending to get down here. Hopefully, probably coincide very nicely with your 40 MA within the stronger trend. So I'll change the bias at that time. Of course, as well, if you want to come in the Discord, get my free training. It's basics, but it's free. You'll learn quite a lot. It's underneath too. Bitcoin day one targets. Do I buy and hold? I don't teach people how to trade Bitcoin. I don't like it either. That, again, if you're looking at the puzzle, trying to solve the picture, you've got all these little bounces. Eventually, that will break. Crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, stuff like that is is an investor market. You're trading it because you believe in it. Okay, I'm sure there's fundamental aspects that are all arguable. People say, well, it's going to go up because of this, it's going to go up because of that. But if you really look how long it's been going up, it's not long. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's 3 years. The reason why I say not long is because you only really get, well, let's call it 2019, you only get significant moves for the last 4 years. If you pull up your old dollar, I can tell you from 1971, and you can see it's downtrended. If you pull up your pound dollar, I can see 1971. So instead of 4 years, it's 40 years. All right, and you can see it goes down. So clearly the pound is losing value against the US dollar over a significant period of time. So, that tells you a lot. But with Bitcoin, you don't have that. Bitcoin, you simply have to believe based on 4 years. That's why I teach people to trade things that are far more stable, because it's more sustainable to do so, factually. Okay, people are only interested in crypto because it's exciting, that's it. But if you trade purely on excitement, you will get burned, you will lose all your money. There's nothing particularly that is exciting about the UK stock market, really. Okay, but I'll still trade it because I know I can trade it sustainably at any level of equity, pretty much. Your dollar CAD, I think you're going to keep going. I think you'll get higher. I think I'm going to add short again here. On the recent fall, which I also called, as I often do, you fell down here. That was brilliant for hedge longs. I said to long, called this long. I said you can long there, and it went right up. I said you can also short here, right down. Okay, you can see it's racing above. You could take a minor short, but I think eventually you'll get higher. I think I'll after this stream, I'm going to add short here. I'm going to do it lightly. Okay, so oil, just touching on as well. What's happening with oil is you've got positive market sentiment. That is why this rally is so harsh. Okay, that is why this is likely to cause an issue. Where I've just drawn that red arrow, I think you'll come down, I think you'll touch on it, and I think you'll get rejection. My third short is in much more significant price action zones, and it's letting that sentiment move. If the market is saying, okay, well, things are getting, demand is being cut, output is being cut, there's less oil, demand goes up, that's why this is happening, and I'm letting that sentiment ride, because eventually that won't be the case. People decide to then sell their oil. That is how markets work. They always will work in such way. Euro. Euro, actually, I like long coming to where we are. I think you'll probably get 107.15 on oil, or 107.1. On the euro dollar. Getting myself mixed up a bit. I would like it long there. I'm quite interested in that 107, just over 107. That's where I'm going to take it long. Or dollar, I said, let it come under the low. I still think you're going to get that. Or USD, MSIEX, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you here before, but welcome. You called that at the right time, actually. So, as many of my Academy members know, you need to refer to higher time frames. And without going into too much detail, I would like it long near a 62. I think you're going to drag down. I think there's nothing really in the way. I have taken a very light long this morning, an extremely light long here. And it's just because you've got these two other levels. But, they don't last long. That is weak. Put the puzzle together. Ask yourself, has it really showed impetus? The answer is no. So I think you'll get lower on the New Zealand dollar. If you are coming in now, smash the like button. There's loads of guys in here. They have been for ages. Press the like, ask me a comment, okay? Press it, ask me something. If you're serious about trading, look at the banner in the middle of the screen. I take traders on all month now, and I teach people globally, which is fantastic. I really enjoy it. Also, another point, somebody asked me, guy who's been wondering about joining for a while. He said to me, "You're on vacation," and lots of you would have seen I went to Copenhagen, I went to Denmark, and I had a really great time. The good thing with trading and running online businesses is that you can do that wherever you are in the world. But he asked me specifically, he said, if you're making so much money trading, why do you run an academy? Why do you teach people? And the answer, actually, believe it or not, is very simple. Um, Best thing you can do to judge whether someone knows what they're doing is to look at the quality of their posts and their results, both of which I would hope I explain these things in depth, and you can see I'm quite accurate. Mark Herod, thanks for the question. I'll get onto that in a sec. Mark's an Academy member as well. Great to see you. I'll cover that in full. And of course, if you want to follow up privately with me as an Academy member, you can. So yeah, he said, why do you run an academy? What's the point? Why are you selling trading courses and teaching people? Well, the fact is, if you work in a job, let's say you start day trading tomorrow, okay, you're doing it for income, like I do. If I didn't teach people, I'd be sat with these four walls by myself all day, okay? Now, you can't, I mean, if it's not possible every single day of the week to take trades constantly. You just can't do that. Some days there's not enough movement for you to do it. I mean, if you look at the AUD dollar now, you've had a drag down of -1 to 8%. But if you're looking long, you wouldn't have taken a trade probably. Now, once you get to this point, there's not an awful lot. So you can't be trading everything constantly. Sometimes you just have to wait. If you're swing trading the FTSE, for example, you're just waiting. I swing trade it a lot, so I've got to wait for it to move. But my point is, it is incredibly boring. If you don't, if all you're doing is sitting there on your own, waiting, it's boring. Now, on top of that, if you go to the CEO of McDonald's or a company like Shell, let's say the oil company, he can either work in the garage, okay, he could be a manager of a garage or a manager of an area, or he can own Shell. What I don't know why would you not teach people? It just doesn't make sense. Now, not only would you not share what you know and enjoy it like I do, I love teaching people. I've done it since I was 18, since I was an adult. I've taught people to make money on the internet. Because that's my speciality. I went straight into that from school. I didn't go to university. I went straight into the world of online business. But it's just stupid. If you're not utilizing that, then you're not really a good businessman. I would say you're not a good trader. I mean, some guys like to trade on their own. I wouldn't say you're not a good trader, but you might not be so proficient in business or getting a good deal, because what you're going to find is that you're not utilizing everything you can. There's more money to be made. So that's why I teach people. I enjoy it. But not only that, it just makes no sense for me to not share what I know, because I'll get bored and I like teaching people anyway. So let's move on to what we were being asked about. We've got the NASDAQ here. Mark is an Academy member, as you've seen. Hopefully he's put the light on as well. You can see Mark's on there, and he's asked me nicely about the NASDAQ. Now, I'll help Mark privately if he requests it, but I think NASDAQ, I think much like your S&P, you're going to get lower. I wouldn't say it's a good time to sell because you've already fallen slightly. That was better. But I think longer term, Mark, that you will come down in the market. I think that negative market sentiment will persist. If you are looking to reshort it, I would only do so up here, and that's because you need a significant push back to this level of key price action over here. Okay, that's where people are likely to sell. So that is a rundown fully of the markets, guys. You can see I've covered so much. And of course, if you're serious about trading, we're coming up to half an hour now, so I'll probably kill it. I'll repost it on YouTube. If you can, press the like. If it's helped you a lot, do feel free to do so. Put a comment, and of course, I'll see you on board. See you there.